Coming right at you from beautiful top secret downtown top of the line studios in top secret Illinois with America's favorite co-host, Miss Anarchist.
Hey guys, this is Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon here on WHAM Radio because we have a mutiny, people. Welcome back to another session of WHAM Radio. This week's episode is dedicated to the true frontline heroes that are defending personal liberties and freedom of each and every one of us. These people should be commended for their efforts to establish the ideas, not political parties, in our lives. I want to thank you for risking your own personal liberties and freedom for my brothers and sisters, for us to exercise our own rights. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and let us change the world through peaceful, civil disobedience. Simply put, don't obey.
Well, that's right, and matter of fact, I always advocate non-violence. We should not shoot anybody or try to hurt anybody or anything like that. Rather, simply just make common sense, logical arguments over and over again so that people cannot argue against us. In other words, do things like say, hey, we all hate child molesters, right? Well, let's all gather together against child molesters then. It's very simple. Like things like that, and that's a pretty simple, and we all hate child molesters, right? Okay, I can hear people gathering now together, just because we all hate child molesters. You see how easy it is, folks? Okay, that's just the point I'm trying to make, as the Marboro man always makes from WHAM Radio and New WHAM TV, because we do have a mutiny, people.
Thank you so much, Marboro man.
Okay.
So we're going to turn our attention to a few different articles I wanted to point out. So we do have a few honorable mentions and then a dishonorable mention. So let us move over. Give me one moment. Alrighty. So our first article is about a man who was arrested for refusing to wear or not wearing a shame muzzle on a Delta airline. And just very quickly, when you skim, that's him right there. His name is Joshua Council. 44, just to let you know, 44-year-old sat there and said, no, I'm not playing this game. So Joshua Council was arrested on November 28th for not wearing a shame muzzle on a Delta airline. Notice how this is going to be reported all from the, the perspective of the enforcers. So it says... Joshua Colby Council, 44, was rushing to board his Delta flight at Salt Lake City International Airport Wednesday when the gate agent stopped and asked him to put on a mask. According to the police report, of course, to the police report and not from the mouth of Joshua Colby Council. Just always remember this, because now all of a sudden the narrative changes to the perspective of his, of the quote-unquote offender. He's rushing in, he's in a hurry, he's trying to catch up to his plane, and boom, a big fat infringement. I'm sorry, I mean a forced company policy that was made by the state and not by the business owner.
Well, that's right, and the airlines, in fact, are more and more run by the, government. It seems like they don't run themselves anymore, which is probably why they're so unsafe, I would imagine. Oh, and full of terrorists also. Yes, I mean, so it's kind of funny that when the government runs the airlines, they're extremely unsafe and full of terrorists. But yet, back in the day, when private companies like Howard Hughes, for example, ran the air, how many terrorist attacks did TWA have? Does anyone want to take a look at? Probably zero. And probably pretty close to zero crashes as well. I mean, there could only have been a couple. Honestly. They're nothing near what the government has made happen to the airlines since the days of Howard Hughes and TWA, which begs the question, where are men like me and Howard Hughes? And women like Anne and Eleanor Roosevelt?
Yeah, I agree. So speaking of planes, council refused and continued to board the plane. So he got past, the gatekeeper, and he actually made it into the plane. And that's kind of funny because Josh made it past the entire airport to his seat before it became a problem. And I really, really doubt that not one person on that plane even defended his right to not wear a mask. I don't think one person sat there and said, just let him stay on the plane without the mask. I need to go. Like, we got to take off now. Who cares? It's one guy without a mask. We're all fine. Not one person argued that point at all. So I'm sure there was a big group of people that said, get him off. I'm pretty sure they were all doing that. Get him off the plane.
Well, because they were probably more focused on getting on with their terrorist missions, as they were hired by some foreign government to go into whatever country the plane was flying into, or state, whatever, and complete some type of terrorist mission. So they were probably more focused on killing innocent people, like spreading, yes.
The convicts.
The convicts, yes, like communism on communion wafers, rather than, defending a fellow passenger who might need their, kind of a humanity assistance. But, forget about humanity when we're all being paid by terrorists now.
Yeah. So I really hope, Josh, that you cost Delta a lot of money for enforcing these arbitrary governmental mandates, okay? Josh was charged with disorderly conduct, so he did spend at least a night or two in jail. So thank you, brother, for your service. You are a true hero in the front lines of freedom. And just to let you know, me and Marboro Man want to extend a free membership to the American People's Club to Joshua Council. So let's wish him the best of luck, and God bless him.
Joshua Council, an honorable mention from WHAM Radio, because thank you, Joshua Council, we do have a mutiny people.
Okay. So our next frontline heroes in our nice neighborhood and plantation state of Illinois.
Oh.
Okay. His name, Mike Coughlin. He owns the Village Tavern and Grill over in Carroll Stream. So he refuses to close down his restaurant for the indoor dining, so he's still keeping his tables open. So he chose not to obey the tyrannical dictates of J.B. Pillager. He continued to run his business as normal as possible. How dare he make money and pay his employees and provide a service to his community? How dare he? And this article is going to probably try to shame him in some way, shape, or form. So here he says that his only choice, he said, I didn't have a choice. For me, if I was to close again, I won't be able to reopen at all. It was a simple choice for me. And in his words, that's what he says. Mike's only choice was to go back to normal, because the new normal is costly and meant to deplete small businesses of their ability to operate at maximum potential, to generate a living for the owner and his workers. So, here he said, we spent thousands of dollars on the plexiglass, sanitizing stations, putting tents out for the outdoor dining, and he even bought an air purification system that's state of the art, and now they're asking him to close. He refuses. The mandates forced the owner to spend thousands of dollars on modifications to meet COVID-19 health code standards. Yet, large corporations continue to operate freely at regular operations with less costly, even more flimsy modifications. You could go to a small mom and pop shop and see, they actually spent time putting the plexiglass between the places that they were supposed to. And then you could go to a Walmart or a, big Kmart or whatever those big Chinese-made stores, and you'll see that it's a piece of plexiglass hanging on a chain off the ceiling. They're very flimsy, but these small businesses...
Well, that's what we call a double standard, and that's actually, a great big double standard that exists in our communist state-run society today, especially in Illinois and Chicago and the Cook County area. everybody knows here that it's highly run by communists. So, we just do our best to roll with the commies. I mean homies. Oh, commies. No homies. No commies. No pinkos. Oh, whatever.
Yep. So, in quote from him, he says, "I'm not going to be the guy with a boarded up building because I followed someone else's science. I agree with Mike's decision to stay open. We all need to take time to sit down and away from all the media hype and do our own homework. And I'm sure Mike's decision came from an area of rationality." We did get a statement from an employee working at the tavern, and it seems that even despite the shutdown, they are doing good business. They are open for dine-in till 11 p.m. So thank you, Mike, for standing up for other small business owners and even large business owners to keep their doors open. You are a true American frontline hero.
That's right. And matter of fact, we just want to remind everybody, they do have to take you to court. So if anybody says anything, you have to be contacted directly by somebody and threatened with court before you have to comply with anything. Just to let all you business owners out there know. You don't have to do anything voluntarily unless they're literally forcing you, and at which time you then call your lawyer. And that's what you're supposed to do. Just want to make everyone aware of the proper protocol of what we're supposed to do during a fake pandemic.
That's right.
More so, what we're supposed to do during a real economic emergency, which is what we're really experiencing. We have to transition from one currency, from any currency, in fact, to actual money. That is the current transitional period of time we're going through right now. We have to actually transition from the paper currency we're using to using actual money printed in, gold or whatever, silver, platinum, whatever the fuck you want. But in order to do that, we have to initiate it and continue to initiate it, and it's happening whether you like it or not. So, you best get on board with that and ignore any of this hype about health bullshit, because it's not your health that's at stake, it's your bank account.
That's right, Marboro, man. So, back to Mike and his Village Tavern and Grill. The higher-ups over at Top of the Line Productions and WHAM Radio want to extend an offer and make you guys a sponsor of the show, and we can promote your restaurant at no charge, of course. So, if you are in the mood for a cozy dine-in experience when no one else is open in town, go to the Village Tavern and Bar in Carroll Stream, Illinois, at 291 South Schmale Road, or call 630-668-1101 for more information. That way, you can enjoy a nice dine-in experience with a new state-of-the-art purification system, so your meals are fresh and clean.
We'd like to offer a top-of-the-line WHAM radio challenge to all of our listeners out there as well. If you can show up to that location in droves and actually create enough of a ruckus to require security, top-of-the-line WHAM radio will actually personally provide the security. If you can do that. And we'll also do interviews on the spot, because we'll be personally providing the security. No real security guards, of course, just me and Ed doing the security. But we'll do it. We'll actually do it. If you have enough of you, we'll have a few other people. We could get a couple real security guards. Don't worry, we'll be fine. We got guns and stuff. Defense is means is what I meant, not weapons, not real weapons. No real bullets. Just, you know what I mean, people. Just we will actually provide organizational security of sorts if you actually show up in a large amount. And we'll do it for free as a voluntary part of our Helping the Community initiative here at Top of the Line and WHAM Radio, because we have a community, people.
Alright, so Village Tavern and Grill and Mike Coughlin, honorable mention. Okay, so our next honorable mention is a New Jersey gym owner. Okay, He is basically accruing more than $1.2 million in fines, okay? So this guy, I just came across this article earlier today, so I'm going to just go off of what it says here. Alright, so it says, the owners of a New Jersey gym who famously defied orders as close to the fitness center during the COVID pandemic now have been hit with more than $1.2 million in fines. But they are staying open as an FU to Governor Phil Murphy. Okay, the Attila's Gym in Brenoir became an anti-lockdown poster child in May after it repeatedly refused to adhere to the Garden State's order to close. Now the gym has had more than 60 citations totaling more than $1.2 million despite not having a single infection linked to the business after more than 83,000 visits from customers at that time. Okay, one of the co-owners, Ian Smith, told Fox News. Smith sent a clear message to Murphy and other state officials in a video shared by TMZ in which he vowed to stay open, filmed without a mask in the middle of his packed gym. Governor Murphy will see this video and fine us $15,000 for it, reads one of the series flashcards, and smiling Smith holds up the video. But free men don't ask for permission or for forgiveness, it continues. F you, Murphy, a male voice then says loudly in the video after Smith walks off the camera. Okay, he says, our fines are totaling over $1.2 million. But every single day, Frank and I open our gym, he says. He called the damage being caused to a small business is a complete tragedy. I will go as far to call it as criminal. I agree with him on that one. It is criminal.
Well, I can't believe they're actually fining them money. What do they expect? They're the ones that are asking for money, yet they're telling these people to not make money, and they're still going to ask them for it. Something that's not right, man. If you're going to ask somebody for money, you don't ask where it comes from or how they get it or any of that crap. You know, they've been providing a service for I don't know how many umpteen years already in the community. Why would you care? They obviously are already fine. Collect your dough and go. Who is trying to hurt these? Who are the people that are trying to hurt these good people that are obviously just, good members of the community, small local mom and pop people contributing to what is going on in the community, the real deal. They're the heroes. Why are they being hurt by bad guys? Who's the bad guys? Get them. Those are the bad guys. The people hurt in the real deals.
Okay, so Ian goes on to say, you are putting people out of business for good. You are making them reliant on big government. You are taking away their civil liberties under the guise of pretending like you care about public health. And I totally agree on this. They want everybody to sit down on their butts and do absolutely nothing about anything and say, it's okay. Big government's going to take care of everything. There's a lot of people I know who really believe that because the government is doing this to us, then it's the government's job to pay us to let them do this to us.
See, that's it, right? It's right. It's a gym that they're targeting, and that shouldn't be lost on anybody. See, they're actually trying to prevent people from exercising and being healthy and getting stronger and preventing disease on themselves. They're trying to prevent people from being healthy. How horrible is that? In the name of health? What the hell what kind of cross-eyed thinking are these mofos believing in?
Okay, so our shout out is to the Attila's Gym, owners Frank and Ian. Thank you guys so much for, accruing all those fees. It is a testament to the civil disobedience that we are talking about. Don't obey. Don't stand down. This is a stand your ground battle, guys. And these men, Frank and Ian, these men are at the front line. Thank you guys so much. You are a true American hero in what's going on in today's world.
And if we have to, we will testify in a court of law that you are homeless and living in a halfway house that is owned by our organization, and therefore you have no money to pay any of this. So you will never have to pay it. We will happily oblige signing any affidavit or even testifying in person if we have to that you live in a halfway house with no money. Like, that's not a big deal to, like, prove. That's very simple, actually. So just an offer if you need it.
Yeah, so we'll help you not pay money too. So thank you guys. We want to also extend an invitation for sponsorship, free of charge, of course. So thank you guys, and we wish you guys the best of luck, and keep staying open and keep helping people stay healthy.
One more thing regarding that, folks. Remember, when it comes to a court of law, the word reasonable applies to everything. If they can't reasonably expect you, or you can't reasonably be expected, you are not at fault for a reasonable goddamn thing. Reasonably.
Alright, so now we'll move on to our dishonorable mention. Of course, here in Illinois, we got so many dishonorable mentions here in this state. But this one was hand chosen by me, Ann. Okay, so our dishonorable mention is our government-sponsored hero. His name is Patrick Keanley. He's McHenry County State's Attorney. Okay, so in this article, the Dog and Pony Show is continuing on. They're causing all this drama on reality TV and stuff. So Governor Pillager is upset that Keanley slammed him, okay, by not enforcing the indoor dining ban in McHenry County. Keanley, at this point, called Pillager's powers questionable. I think that's what he says right here. Calling his powers questionable right here. All right. Pillager goes on to blame any business that opens its door of spreading the virus willy-nilly. Pillager then adds, if you don't do the right thing, more people will get sick, which is basically a soft threat of some sort here. So right here he says you're spreading the virus willy-nilly at a time, and, you know, because people are getting sick, if you don't do the thing, you know, right thing, more people are going to get sick. So it's your fault, everybody's fault. Except for Pritzker, or Pillager, it's not his fault at all. His hands are clean. He's saying it's everybody else's fault but him. Actually, that's a typical, like, symptom of an egomaniac, actually. You know, it's everybody else's fault but theirs. So, Keanley goes on about how the governor's power is questionable, maybe even unconstitutional. He then uses fancy words like executive order and litigation and emergency powers. He makes it sound beautiful to any kind of conservative, really. Keanley does not care about rights. It's all about the money, guys, okay? And I'll explain to you in a bit how that works. He tries to argue about how Pillager is making laws that impact our everyday lives. But who cares about all this beautiful rhetoric, guys? Because Keanley is still going to enforce the other rules and ordinances and statutes, because he even admits to it. Right here. He admits to it. Hold on. This is great. So, he says he's still going to enforce the limits on business occupancy. He's still going to enforce the mask mandates and the social distancing, which are all things that still interfere with our everyday lives. But all that beautiful rhetoric goes all to the wayside because he's just a flip-flopper. He doesn't care because at the end of the day, he needs people to work because they pay the state taxes, and he gets a cut out of that money. How do you think the judges get paid, and the lawyers get paid, and the state's attorneys get paid? Like, how do you think they all get paid? You know? So, of course, he needs some money coming in. Of course, that's why he's not going to enforce the indoor dining, because then the, you know, restaurant owners can still pay their taxes. So, Keanley also made sure to threaten business owners with consequences from other agencies if they don't comply. If they don't comply, he says, Keanley noted that violators of the governor's executive orders could face consequences from other agencies, which would include the Illinois State Police, the Attorney General, the Illinois Liquor Control Commission, and the Illinois Gaming Board. So, Thank you, Patrick Keanley, for infringing on the rights of everybody you serve. Thank you for finding and citing businesses that don't follow your dictates. Thank you for pretending to care about constitutional rights. You are our dishonorable mention. Congratulations, Mr. Keanley. We will be sending you a copy of the Constitution in your mail very soon. And on to some other news. With Black Friday and the holidays pretty much being the biggest money makers for almost any business anywhere, all of retail, restaurants, whatever. There's a lot of things going on here. These holidays sometimes pay the bills ahead of time for some of these businesses.
I would like to remind everybody that at Jaci's on East Avenue and Cermak Rd in beautiful downtown Berwyn, Illinois, the Black Friday holiday sales are being extended throughout the holidays, and it is actually only $1 for all of your main clothing needs. That includes shoes, people. That means you can get geared up with fresh, new, sparkling gear from Jaci's, all the stuff you ever wanted for less than $1 a piece. Literally, less than $1 a piece. So I would recommend that everybody rush. Don't walk. Don't hesitate. Rush down to Jaci's Resale shop in beautiful downtown Berwyn, Illinois on East Avenue and Cermak Rd, across the street from the East Avenue and Cermak Rd stoplight. Just so that you can get your hands on some fresh new gear from Jaci's and appliances for your kitchen or anything else too. Furniture as well at discounted prices. I mean, you name it, they got it at Jaci's Resale shop in beautiful downtown Berwyn, Illinois, East Avenue and Cermak Rd on the south side of the street. Thank you so much, and moving on.
All right, there goes our shoehorn in ad. All right, so back to we're talking about. So this story, we're basically talking about how in Illinois, and this is all just in the state of Illinois. So here's some local news that business and retail has gone down more than 61% since 2019. So we're looking at almost half the market, or more than half the market gone. Okay. The hammer hits bars and restaurants where 71% are closing their doors forever. Now that Pillager forced us back to the tier 3 level or convid levels, people are getting desperate for governmental intervention, and this is not good, guys. You know, we don't want more governmental intervention. We want less of that. You know, like I said, I know a lot of people who believe that because the government is doing this to us, that the government has to pay for them to do this to us. So, in my opinion, what is wrong with you business owners? Why are you even listening? Did you even think that your $1,200 was going to cover everything? I am honestly ashamed of living in this state sometimes. I personally know many hardworking individuals here who are giving up their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness because they listen to mainstream narratives instead of doing their own homework. You know, the true unemployment rate here in Illinois, they're lying and they're saying it's something like 6.8, percent, when it's really 8.4%, because they're not going to say that they're not counting the homeless or anyone who stopped looking for a job or any other discouraged worker. You know, so you can't really tell a homeless person to get a job because technically they're not even unemployed. Okay, they're not employed. That's not the same thing.
Well, you're absolutely right, and in fact, it's not. Of course, it's not the fault of any of the business owners. Whilst they are simply just following the instincts of what anybody would normally do when they are trying to stay ahead of the game. It's unfortunate that their actions have been predicted by the bad guys.
Yeah. Yep. And we're looking at a lot of losses here, guys. You know, so many areas of the work sector are affected. You know, we're looking at bars, restaurants, gyms, hotels, recreational activities, and even manufacturing. Okay, there's so many job losses that we're looking at coming in the year 2021. Okay, so many job losses and business closures, and of course, here Pillager, and it even says here, and I'm gonna leave all the links in the description so you guys can read these articles and figure out for yourselves whether what I'm saying or what I'm thinking is even have a hint of truth to it at all. But of course, Pillager needs to figure out how to squeeze money from a stone here. And because with the rising non-employed people, Pillager's just not happy. He's not happy that his voters shot down his progressive tax bill, which was called the fair tax. I guess the Illinois voters wanted to keep the flat tax. And now he's not happy that they didn't take the fair tax. So he's retaliating against us. He's retaliating with this little smoke screen by saying that he wants to raise the flat tax, but his real retaliation is calling for a 20% income tax hike, guys. You should be out there in the streets at his house, wanting to burn crosses in his yard.
Oh, I'd like to remind everybody that Ann and the Marboro Man are the true leaders of the American people, and that, in fact, if you forget about all of that other governmental stuff, the United States of America stuff that we have nothing to do with, the United States stuff, and just follow only the America stuff, that Ann and the Marboro Man are the leaders of the free country of America, and listen to only what Ann and the Marboro Man say, and do only what we say on WHAM Radio, and follow all the instructions that we give you on WHAM Radio and our corresponding platforms, and then 1 year from today, we'll be reporting on job gains instead of job losses, and that will be an amazing day, but that will only happen if you follow your leaders, Ann and the Marboro Man, leaders of the American people. So remember, folks, do what we say, and you will prosper. Don't do what we say, you will not prosper.
And if you don't want to do anything we say, that's fine, because you can do your own homework.
Well, and of course, it's a free country. You can do anything you like.
Alright, so thank you, Governor Pillager, for destroying this plantation of Illinois that many people worked hard to create. Thank you for shutting down more than 60% of retail here and lying about the unemployment. Thank you so much, Pillager, for the job losses and the tax hikes. You are also our other dishonorable mention. Actually, I don't even know why I don't even have you in a dishonorable mention, because you're just such a horrible person, Pillager. And I know you're never going to hear this recording because you're too good for that, and that's fine. But the American people and the people here in the great state of Illinois, we will not continue to bend to you anymore. We will all disobey you. It is coming to a head, and that is why you made your cry to your masters with the 33rd person dying in that VA home. We know what you're up to, Pillager, and don't think we don't see it.
And remember, folks, your leaders of America, Ann and the Marboro Man, are telling you that it is okay to go right ahead and do anything you need to do, especially in the state of Illinois, to improve the state of the community and the state of our culture, the state of our humanity. Anything at all you need to do. We're not telling you to break any laws. We're not telling you to trespass. But if you do need to use someone's land, simply ask their permission, and we guarantee you they will tell you yes, no problem. That is a guarantee from your leaders of America, Ann and the Marboro Man. We're telling you it is perfectly fine. You will not be breaking any laws as long as you don't do anything crazy, because you don't need to. Just go ahead and start fixing things. You don't need any special permission for anything, really. If you do need to use someone's property, just ask the permission of the property owner. That's about it. Other than that, as long as you have a property owner's permission to use the property, if you need it, if you even need it, you might not even need someone's property, but if you do, just ask. They're gonna say yes, and then you're on your way. simply go ahead and fix everything. You don't need special permission, people. You don't need licenses or anything like that to fix America. All we have to do is get together and just start fixing things. No one will stop us. Least of all the police or military. They want us to fix everything. They've been begging us to do this for a long time. Let's just do what they would like us to do. That will help them be on our side, which is what we need anyway. Wow, what an epiphany. Amazing. Only on WHAM Radio.
Thank you, Marboro, man. So I just wanted to add a new addition to the show. We'll see if this works out well. I wanted to do some social media shout-outs to some of my fans and followers on my Anarchist page and on my news feeds. Okay, so this one comes from Riley Escobar. When animal abuse is now a federal offense, but they still shoot your dog. Laws don't apply to pigs. Of course not. Our next one, it comes from Twitter, from Sal the Argorist. Americans own 46% of the world's 1 billion guns, UN reports. And Homer goes on to say, no, 46% of the world's registered guns. Okay, so let's give a shout out to all the people with their unregistered ghost guns. We love you all. The next one, this one comes from Jacob. Police, if you aren't doing anything wrong, then you have nothing to hide. Also police, with their faded state police, I'm assuming only works when lights reflected on it, placard on their side of the cars. So of course they have plenty to hide. They are all criminals and gang members. So F you to the police. Okay, and my favorite, I follow him all the time, so always go check out Brian Young at High Impact Flicks. I love you. I love this comment. Get your recently released VAXX while supplies last. It's your choice of a free body bag or wheelchair included for the first 5 million customers. So, because we all know that there's nothing but bugs in these new VAXXs, that they're shooting right into all these people. And I did just see a picture of a woman who was about 9 months pregnant, about ready to pop. And she was getting the first set of the Convid 1984 VAXX. So hopefully her child will survive the whole.
Well, yeah, I've never heard of anybody ever recommending any type of vaccine for any lady that's 9 months pregnant. That's unheard of completely. So for them to do that is totally against everything that HIPAA stands for. And folks, we are coming to the end of our wonderful show tonight. We hope you have enjoyed the evening with Ann and the Marboro Man. But this will be Marboro Man from WHAM Radio and New WHAM TV signing out with
Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon here on WHAM Radio, because we do have a few people. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter, and we do have our new website at www.toplinepro.com. All the links will be in the description below. Have a good night, everyone.